Beaver Athletic. The Beaver Athletic, basically, I grew up with playing hockey with the Beaver Athletic. Never really was a standout player, but basically enjoyed the game. And then when I was married, my father-in-law Ted Watts was one of the founders of the Beaver Athletic, and him and I always had a lot of great talks throughout the years on hockey. And when I got involved, got involved. A friend of mine, Leo Roy, sort of sucked me into being the equipment manager.
Okay.
And I would gather all the old goalie equipment up and all the sweaters. And Mrs. Isaac, bless her soul, she would take those sweaters and she would wash them all for me and pack them all up and put them in boxes. And I dragged them down, believe it or not, to where the firefighters museum is right now. And there was a upstairs, there was a sort of a loft there, and I used to go up there and you put everything in place and then pack it away for one season and back up the next season. But I was really involved with it. I wanted, my historian thing sort of came out then. In the 1980, some of the founders of the Beaver Athletic were getting older, and basically they were never ever honored for basically building sports in Port Hope. Like the Beaver Athletic Association started out as basically a baseball, hockey organization, and they run them both. And later on, the baseball sort of faded away because different clubs got involved. Like your Lions Club was doing some baseball. Your Legion was doing, because there was always the volunteers, with all these clubs, and they would sponsoring. So the Beaver Athletic sort of let the baseball go eventually, but stuck with hockey. And that's what I find now, that it's gone away from the Beaver Athletic Association, and the history has gone, because they've gone to the Phantoms or something like now. Like there's no history left with that. You go to the rink now, and a friend of mine refurbished the trophy cases, and basically they're all basically destroyed now. The history's gone from and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed being able to go in and talk, because I'd be working midnights, and I go and I see people. I go in all the way out to Millbrook to see Stan Crossett, because he owned the Ganaraska Hotel here one time, and he was one of the first NHL players to ever go from Port Hope to play for the Philadelphia Quakers. And I didn't know that till my father-in-law said, Dave, because like Jimmy Roberts was my cousin, so I knew Jimmy was a Port Hope boy that went to Peterborough play hockey, and then Paul Trapacci, and then Dennis O'Brien later on. So I sort of basically when I did that 1980 30th year hockey book, I tried to do it to honor those people that basically spent their time with people in town. Jim Phillips, who just passed away lately, just in the last month or so. He was a great guy as far as lending people equipment and things like that to play hockey. There's a lot of people in town that kids that couldn't afford to play hockey.
Yeah.
A lot of those gentlemen spent the money for those kids to play hockey. So that was my goal back then, and then, I stayed with it for, my son played hockey, and then my daughter swam, so I was either in the rink or at the swimming pool. I kid people, because the people talk about going to college and universities, and she used to, when she swam, used to go to these universities to swim, like Laurentian University and all those different universities, and I'd always buy a T-shirt or a sweatshirt from the university. So somebody'd say, "Oh, you've been to Laurentian?" "Oh yeah, I was there. Only took me a weekend to go through that college." So yeah. So that's basically the Beaver Athletic. That's why I did it, to honor people, and has history for later on in years that maybe somebody remember them.